Primetime.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime Primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God, this is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now?
Well, I'll tell you what, we've already seen some big dogs, that's for sure, roaming around this golf course. And when you're talking about the best of the best, there's no question this is the place. The strongest field in golf gathers every year at TPC Sawgrass. And just a while ago, my bro and I, which I will tell you guys what we were doing earlier, but Rory McIlroy, Shane Lowry, a couple of the big-time players, of course, they're buddies, one from Northern Ireland, the other, and a straight Irishman. They were coming off 18, and we saw plenty of other players that were out there that you can definitely count on factory here. It's such a good field and such a beautiful day. Welcome in a Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. I'm looking at Leon Searcy. I'm looking at Coach Dave Campo. We are missing Matt Hayes today. He's got USA Today sports duties today. I think he went out to Lubbock. And I don't think you can get there from here, honestly, Coach. You're a Texas guy. I don't think you can get there from here.
Listen, that's a shame that he's not here because I know he loves it here. This is great. And what a beautiful day as well.
Yeah. And Big Sirs, as I understand it, was shuttled straight from the shuttle to here, like a VIP. Is that correct?
Yeah, I can appreciate that, too.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Amongst the people.
Yeah, but listen, as soon as he walks off of a shuttle, he steps right onto a golf cart, and they bring him right over here to the park.
Listen, here's the thing, and I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
I was sitting over there eating a hot dog, and he comes driving in.
Yeah.
I walked around for about half an hour trying to figure out where this facility was here.
Yeah, and by the way, you've lived in this neighborhood, so you know a little bit about this neighborhood.
Yeah.
All right, so I was saying that my brother came up from Fort Lauderdale, and so he hadn't been here on property in a long time. Like, we covered this tournament together way back in the day. We're talking some of the great moments that we saw, late 90s, early O's. And he was looking around like, holy smokes, how much is this?
How different.
Yeah, how much, the fan experience has improved. And it wasn't a bad experience before, but it's improved so much, like exponentially. It's just crazy good what these fans get to enjoy.
Yeah, there's no question that everything changes. You know, all the new facilities with the Jaguars and every team in the league in football, how they put on shows. What the experience is great.
All right, now listen, we got a lot to get into today. We're going to say hello to a friend of coaches, Mike Zimmer, who was the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys this past season before they blew everything up and hired Brian Schottenheimer as their new head coach. He's going to be talking about is it the biggest signee the Jaguars have this offseason? You'd have to say that.
Yeah, you will say that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to talk about Jordan Lewis and what he represents and brings to this football team as a nickel starter, highest paid at his position. And then you got the other guys. You have a number of other names that you could say, hey, they're piecing it together. They're not spending a bunch of money or not overspending a bunch of money. But they moved pretty fast, fellas, yesterday. What did you think?
Well, me and Coach was talking about this off the air. We was over there enjoying this hot dog, and I was getting me one. Coach said that anytime you make that kind of overhaul where you sign 9 guys in free agency, the way the Jaguars is, I mean, you don't think that much about the roster. You think that the roster needs an overhaul, and I have no problem with that, especially at the offensive line position. When the team goes 4-13, there should be nobody comfortable.
True.
I want to shake the tree. I want people uncomfortable. I want competition. You know, I want mean, nasty offensive linemen. If you got to bring in guys to inspire other guys to play better, then I'm all for it. So, I mean, I was initially a little concerned about the lack of splash here in Jacksonville. You know, the fans want the big names, the big dollars or whatever. But I think that this GM, this head coach, Tony Basilio, looked at this roster and said, hey, listen, we need guys. You know, we don't need splash guys. We need worker bees.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. We need worker bees on this team.
Okay, so did they replace below average with average? Did they replace average with above average? What do you think?
Well, I think they're looking at it like this is a 2-year project. I think you're looking at it like, you know, the guys we were talking about, the offensive linemen, for example, those guys are, in their opinion, they upgrade from what we just lost. In other words, now how much it upgrades, I'm not sure. I think they're probably I think they look at it like they're on the come. You know, they've like Mekhi, what's it?
Which one are you talking about?
For the
Baltimore?
Ravens.
Makari.
Makari?
Yeah, the Ravens.
I think Makari is a guy that has played enough to where you say, hey, look, this guy's can improve. He can be developed.
Right.
And I think that's what they looked at. They look like we're going to improve a little bit from that standpoint. And then it's a 2-year deal. Now you go into the draft, and you don't have to take anybody just because you need something. You've got and to me, I think they look at this roster like we do have some key pieces. We do have the 2 outside rushers. We do have the 2 running backs. We've got Brian Thomas. We got the quarterback. We got 2 offensive tackles that are good enough to win games for us.
Right.
Let's piece these other guys in, let them develop, but at the same time, we go into the draft, we take the best available players.
Yeah, I think when it comes to offensive linemen as well, Coach, I don't think none of the guys that they brought in are finished products.
Right.
All right. They're work in progress.
Right.
So they figure that with their staff, their offensive line coach, that these guys that are sending, they could be more polished. Because if you look at the Ravens, the guy from the Ravens only started 1 year. Look at the guy from the Cowboys. He sporadically played games, started here and there. The center from Tampa Bay, I mean, there was a offensive lineman drafted to replace him. So he was a backup guy.
True.
So he was a backup guy. So I mean, none of these guys are finished products. I think that the overhaul, as far as the offensive line goes, they looked at the offensive line and said to themselves, you know what, we need to work something interiorly. Most of these guys that we're bringing in now are going to be competing for these jobs. No one's going to get any handouts anymore.
Right.
So I like that part. I like the uncomfortable ability of this offensive line because they haven't established anything.
Right.
So why not bring in guys that you feel that can come in and step in day one to play and start?
So the way I started out, I don't know if they replaced below average with average or average with above average. I'm not sure. And look, we've been out and about today talking to Jaguar fans, and it's fun hearing what they're thinking. Some of them are lukewarm. Some of them are over the top. Some of them are like, what the H? There's all sorts of different thoughts and theories that are out there. And just to sum it up, did we just replace average with average? Well, I want to fight that off at least for the here and now because we need to see what it looks like. And I'll look at both of you guys and say this. The player obviously is in charge of his own work, and the coach is in charge of making that player better. And we don't know what this coaching staff looks like. We honestly don't. And so that's what we have to figure out.
We do know one thing, though, that the head coach took a coaching staff that came from people he trusts, their evaluation of how good these young guys are.
Right.
The players that just came in have come from the same – they're all guys that had some kind of contact with those assistant coaches.
Right.
And or from a program like the Baltimore Ravens, which you already know there's a tough mentality there.
Familiarity with the guys that they did bring in, a couple of those guys, and they're certainly not big-name guys. But Makari comes from a winning environment in Baltimore. De'Ami Brown, like I said, I'm not blowing smoke, Leon. You and Matt were laughing at me yesterday. But De'Ami Brown represents a nice, quick slot guy that can get open, that's a younger, emerging type of player that was living in a pretty good system with Terry McLaurin as the main guy. And I like that guy. I don't know that he's going to come in here and make you forget quickly about, I don't know, Christian Kirk or some of these other guys, but he does have an opportunity to come in and make plays.
Yeah, he does. And we did joke about it last year because what did he have, 1 touchdown last year, 30 catches? But
until the playoffs.
Until the playoffs.
Yeah. All of a sudden he had 70 yards.
Yeah, his average. Yeah, his average in the postseason
he's on the come just like the rest of them.
Yeah, it was 76 yards per game.
When it comes to the guy, I can evaluate the offensive lineman essentially, but when it comes to guys statistically, as far as tight ends and wide receivers, I go into the analytics. I go right to the numbers. Now I don't know what that may be wrong on my part, but I saw the 30 catches, 386 yards, 1 touchdown. I was like, why are we bringing this guy here? I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But obviously, they've studied the film. They figured that you project him with BTJ and you give him an opportunity, he can make plays for you. So I'm gonna be an observer right now. All right, I'm gonna be as optimistic as we can until September.
Yeah. That's it.
And then September, we'll see.
Yeah, once you see the product, and I'm the off-season optimist, but once you see the product, then you know whether, oh my gosh, these guys are way in over their heads. Brand new general manager, brand new head coach, brand new DC, OC, on and on and on. And so we don't know what these guys are going to do.
And I want to ask you this. Is there going to be any middle ground? These guys are going to either take off or implode.
Of course, there's no middle ground.
No middle ground,
Big.
right?
You know that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Just
everyone wants to applaud or crush.
True.
And that's basically what it is. And you guys hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. You can applaud or you can hammer what they did. But a lot of people, over the course of the first 24 hours with the legal tampering period opening up at noon yesterday, basically said, what are we doing? This is Trent Baalke again, over and over. We're not bringing in guys that are stars and studs. So Daniel Griffiths, and we mentioned him yesterday, he's one of the guys that does a really good job as far as breaking down the Jags, covers them very well. He's a fun read and follow on X. So he says free agency spending does not correlate to wins. He looked at which teams have spent the most and what's come of it. 8 of the top 10 spenders since 2020 are below 500.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That means you're throwing money at a problem. You're hoping like hell you can fix it, and you're not necessarily guaranteed that you are. The Jaguars, second most money spent in free agency. That doesn't shock me. If you go back and you think, Leon, they made Christian Kirk the highest paid cat. They paid a ton of money to Brandon Sheriff and all the other guys that they brought in here over the last 2 or 3 years. The Jaguars led free agent spending 3 times since 2015. So we're basically talking a decade. And what have they got to show for it?
Well,
17 and 22.
Yeah, you got 2 playoff
seasons.
2 playoff seasons, yeah. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. That is not good at all. That's not good. The better teams... The better teams overhaul their roster, and they build through the draft. And then if you miss on someone in the draft, then you go find you a stud free agent to bring in right now. I mean, listen, I'm going to be very interested in all this stuff with free agency, not being a splash. I'm going to look at the draft and see what kind of overhaul we're going to have with the draft. Are we going to utilize any of our picks to move up and get guys that they may be on their board? So listen, when they said that the GM was a scout guy, a great evaluator of talent, that's why I want to look at the draft and see who he brings in here that's going to help build this roster.
Yeah, listen, I'm confident that they have a plan, and I'm looking at it from the standpoint that you bring these guys in to help yourself in the draft. And really that's what free agency has become. There's not that many Saquon Barkleys out there that you bring in and all of a sudden he elevates your team to the greatest thing since sliced bread. You got to get worker bees, just like Leon said. Bring some guys in here that are tough, that are physical, that are dogs, so to speak, and I think that's what they tried to do.
Right.
And they're guys that are young enough, with the exception of Lewis, really, who's a little older guy. Most of them are young enough that they're ascending, and that's what you do. And then you take the guys in the draft that come to you. That's it.
And so, all right, just based on, and let's just do this coming up here in a second, but based on what they did do. Like you said, they haven't 100% plugged in starters automatically, Leon. We'll go over it in a second. Nothing's granted, correct? Okay, so let's at least look and see areas of position that they did address, and then what you think they will be doing going forward with the draft. In other words, where this competition is going to come from. So let's do that coming up. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. They have been a part of the First Coast now for years, and they definitely are they're dealing left and right. BeaverChevrolet.com. BeaverToyotaSt.Augustine.com. We're happy customers, including Coach Campo. You can get the beautiful rides, SUVs, pickup trucks, sedans, luxury, economy, whatever you want, brand new, pre-owned, whatever. And if you need any help, just ask me. I will absolutely chauffeur you right to the guy to make sure that you get the job or get the great deal that you want. That's for sure. Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet. So let's look at the class, what we think they have done, where they've started to at least fill some holes. Let's do that coming up on XL Primetime from the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass.
Ride home with a Franchi show.
I'm a driver, and I'm a flyer. I waited a long time for a shot like this.
Put some wings on your wheels. Afternoons on 1010XL.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet. Football season may be over, but there's plenty of action everywhere else. Not sure what to bet on? Check out the Discover page at Hard Rock Bet. You can download the app or head to hardrock.bet. College basketball, we're closing in on the biggest tournament of the year. Don't go in blind. Bet on the action today. Hard Rock Bet. Download the app. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging in the mirror? Fine lines, sun damage, redness? They don't have to be part of your future. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, and I can help you look and feel your best without invasive surgery or painful treatments. Imagine rejuvenating your skin in a relaxing, comfortable environment with minimal to no downtime. Smooth out fine lines, even skin tone, and restore that youthful glow. Find out how to look and feel your best at Dermagnify.com. Dermagnify.com.
Need fresh and flavorful lunch? Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad in every bite. It's quick and delicious, so why wait? Come taste the best chicken salad today at Town Center, Durbin Park, or Butler Point at Chicken Salad Chick.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
You don't think this would be a good moment to text somebody?
There's never a bad moment to share your opinion on the 1010XL text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Share your opinion
As soon as possible.
at 641-1010.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Mia here. Getting more is great, and that's what makes this sale so great. It's a sale on top of a sale, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Get zero down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2022 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, Tacoma for zero down and $388 per month. You can even choose no payments till July 2025. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard just a quarter mile east of 295 or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Looking for adventure? Need a machine that works as hard as you do? CF Moto has you covered. At Ride Now Beach Boulevard, we've got CF Moto ATVs and UTVs built for any task, any trail, anytime. Tear up the dirt with the trail-tested C-Force ATV lineup or conquer through terrain with a Z-Force UTV. Find your CF Moto ride today at Ride Now Beach Boulevard or visit ridenowbeachboulevard.com. ATVs and UTVs are for riders 16 and older. They can be hazardous to operate. CF Moto recommends an improved safety training course.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
AC replacement? Not warming up when you want it? If your HVAC unit is close to calling it quits, make sure you call Florida Home AC. With over $4,500 in buyback and tax credits waiting for you, take advantage of it. 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Lots of jewelry stores in the town center, but only one is locally owned, Beard's Diamonds.
We're the only local jewelry store at the town center.
That's Jacksonville's John Lupo, owner of Beard's for over 4 decades.
We're entrenched in Jacksonville, Florida.
In a sea of mega Chain Jewelers. John says it's easy to stand out because he's not handcuffed by a corporate handbook.
I am not beholden to a corporate structure, so we've got flexibility to do whatever we can and want, and we do.
And that includes lowering prices to undercut them every day.
Quality for quality, color for color, everything the same. We should be able to beat them hands down by minimum 20%. We go overseas ourselves. We know exactly what we're buying. This isn't getting marked up in a corporate structure. We will beat anybody's price anywhere.
So before you buy anything at one of those chains, get a second opinion at locally owned Beards Diamonds. No corporate atmosphere, no corporate rules, no corporate high markups.
We want you to come shop us and you'll see a lot better price here.
Beards Diamonds.
Everybody gets a good deal at Beards.
Open early and open late. Dailies is always there, making things easy for you to cruise in and cruise out. So hit Dailies Cold Case the next time you're craving a cold one. Bud Light by the case. Plus plenty of singles to choose from. Corona to the King of Beers to Stella or a Natty. They're all cold at Dailies.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
He'll launch this time. Down the sideline, Brown!
Now you're going to play single high coverage. You're going to stress your corners. And Emerson, he's been a very good press man defender early in his career. And Yami Brown just doesn't break stride. Gets no hands on him, and he's just going to win the foot race and drops it in a bucket.
This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Well, one touchdown during the regular season, but at the same time, you're looking at a guy that may be on the rise. That's what you're hoping for. It comes at a one-year expense, a double-digit $1 million expense, but at the same time, you want to see that receiving core get better. And I don't know where Gabe Davis is in all this, but I do know, or I don't know where Parker Washington is in all of this, but I do know De'Ami Brown comes in with at least some potential on being a rising star in the National Football League. It is XL Primetime. We were hanging out at the beautiful TPC Sawgrass, the stadium course. Joe C., along with big Leon Searcy, Hurricane Hall of Famer. He's just chopping it up with another anti-Gator out there.
I know.
And Coach Dave Campo we're going to say hello to one of your good friends, Mike Zimmer, coming up here in about 15 minutes to talk about one of the big signings the Jaguars had in Jordan Lewis. And he can actually talk about two or three other guys because they got the big lineman from Dallas along with the nickel corner.
And the tight end
up in Minnesota.
From Minnesota, where Zimmer was the head coach when he was there.
He was up there for how many years, Coach, was he?
8 years.
8 years. He went from D.C. to head coach up there.
8 years, yeah.
So long run.
You mean how long was he in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the head coach for 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years. You know what? Honestly, I didn't give him credit for 8 full years as the head coach. I did not.
Yeah.
That's a little unfair to me.
Read this right there.
Unfair on my part.
Read that number right there.
Wow. 74-59 and one tie. You remember the tie?
No, but I remember that he won a lot of games. He just couldn't win it in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that was the bottom line.
Yeah,
and a number of them were kickers misses.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah. You can go back, and it's so funny because the cat was from Georgia.
Yeah.
And had not missed a kick the entire season. And I want to say they might have been a 5-point favorite in that ball game, something like that. And then that kick would have sealed it for him. And should we ask him about that? Or
no.
No, don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. All right. So we'll get to a couple of other things. But, Leon, I asked a question before the break, and this is not an easy one to answer, but how many holes did they fill? Did they partly plug? How many position battles did they create with the first day of free agency or the signing?
Well, on the offensive line, I would start there and say, essentially, Nduga, I mean, you win the fourth round a year ago and got Javon Foster, who was supposed to be your swing tackle. So I'm thinking this guy Nduga from the Cowboys, who's had 10 starts in 2 years with the Cowboys, he's probably more of your more reliable swing tackle now because he's got the experience.
It's It's Jacksonville's annual March meeting place.
Fascinating people.
1010XL is your radio home for the Players' Championship with live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates.
From Heroes Lawn Care, Taco Lou, and TopDressing.com.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
It's time to keep the party going. All Parrot Heads unite once again with Jimmy Buffett's Coral Reefer Band.
It's 5 o'clock show.
Live in Jacksonville.
Wasted away again.
Daly's Place, Saturday, March 15th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Let's keep the party going with a tribute to Jimmy Buffett featuring the Coral Reefer Band. One night only, Saturday, March 15th, Daly's Place.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey gang, Prosser here. We've talked about some of the struggles that you may come across when it comes time to sell your home. We've told you how great Chad and Sandy are at chadandsandy.com. But you know, they're also great when things are going good and the economy is showing positive signs. Now may be the time to sell your home at the price you want. It's easy to find out. Get friendly expert help from the Jacksonville agents who eat and sleep local real estate. Call my agents, Chad and Sandy Newman. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Chad and Sandy can do that. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Well, let's take care of that right now because here's the Chad and Sandy guarantee. Your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline or they will buy it. Jonathan in Mount Pleasant said the only thing standing between me and my dream of traveling in my RV was the sale of my Mount Pleasant home. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Crazy results in just 3 days. Multiple offers, full asking price. You can get it too. Call today or go to chadandsandy.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
This is Corona Premier. It's the light beer you didn't know was a light beer. Until right. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now, Corona Premier, an unexpectedly light beer.
Corona Premier, a light beer with just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. The premier side of life. For those that are active and on the go, pick some up the next time you're heading out to enjoy the day under the sun.
Corona Premier, an unexpectedly light beer.
Let's take a look inside 1010XL.
Who wants the Grand Tour? That would be terrific. That would be great.
We have the drill in the morning.
Very amusing.
Jaguars today from 10 to noon.
Good.
Helmets and heels until 2.
Yes.
XL Primetime and the Franchi Show afternoons.
This is great.
Then Baloo and Hacker take you into the night.
All in one location.
1010XL.
Hey, this is Coach Jason Gibson of your Jacksonville Sharks. I know the importance of a strong game plan, and that's exactly what I've got with Clay Solar Installation Partners. They did the install of the solar panels at my house, and I couldn't be happier. Lower energy bills, clean power, and a winning team that made the whole process easy. If you're looking to save money and go solar, trust the pros at Clay Solar. Call Karen at Clay Solar today and tell them that Coach Gibson sent you.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round 1 of draft night. Through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes, one lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors to get the job done right. Z Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit Coastal Equipment for a demo today.
Greater power for the great outdoors. Coastal Equipment.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
The best teal-colored coverage includes Mia's Quick Hits.
Get the latest news from inside the building and around the league. I'm Mia O'Brien, 1010XL's NFL Insider.
Driven by Arlington Toyota. Available on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of. And you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
We're here on the beautiful grounds of TPC Sawgrass. We got knocked off for just a second. We apologize for that. The Palm Valley Village is where we are, and we're in a great little setup because you got a place to walk in, picnic tables. You can sit down, you can relax, you can enjoy the sunshine or feel a little bit of the breeze. But we got knocked off for just a second, and we're hoping that we're good to go with Mike Zimmer, who is one of Coach's old coaches in Dallas and 8 years as the head coach in Minnesota before taking the D.C. job this past season. And he's going to give us an idea about 3 different players, so we'll be looking forward to seeing that. And it's funny when we kind of lost all you guys, and you guys hit the text line 641-1010. Give us an idea of what you're thinking as far as what you'd like to hear from Coach Mike Zimmer as far as what you think Jordan Lewis brings to this football team, the lineman from the Cowboys, the tight end from the Minnesota Vikings. He's aware of all 3 of these guys, but you guys can let us know what you're thinking. I would think the conversation that you and I had just a minute ago, Leon and Coach, we were just asking about how many positions do you think that they seriously address? Because we can look at the actual position they played and say, okay, well, wait a minute. They just signed a lineman, a tight end, a wide receiver. But how many of them can compete for starting jobs?
Well, on the lineman side, I think 2.
Okay.
I think Ndoga is going to be more of a swing guy. Mm-hmm. But I think the center and the guard, I think they're in play at starting pieces, starting positions, because we got one retired and one is going to be a free agent. So I think they specifically brought those 2 guys in there to start at the center position and at the right guard position, and your guy Ndoga will be more of a swing guy, more of a swing tackle.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, both Hainsey and Makari have been in positions where they've been able to help their football team win.
Right.
So hopefully we'll be able to do the same here to get us. And it's a 2-year deal. That's what they have on them. And hopefully they bring in some guys in the draft that are eventually starters for us.
All right. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to figure out what they've done or what they haven't done. And there's really no way to know it until we actually see the players on the field and how the coaches are going to coach them. But it's a very obvious question, but a difficult one to answer. Did they get better? By saying goodbye, and let's just say what you just said, Leon, two can compete for offensive line positions. Are they better if they have Macari plugged in a guard or a center position? They've said goodbye to Sheriff. Mitch Morse retires. We don't know exactly where Ezra fits into all of this. Matt Hayes would have something to say right now about Ezra, but we don't know where he fits in. But are they better? I don't know the answer to that. I really don't.
Well, I looked at both Macari and Sheriff's PFFs.
Mm-hmm.
Both are excellent pass protectors. Okay, both of them are excellent pass protectors. Both have the same marginal score when it comes to run blocking. So now don't get me wrong, Macari was on the number one rushing offense in the NFL.
Right.
Okay, but he was 1/5 of that. So I mean, if I was to look at them comparably, I would say they're the same guy.
Okay. See, that's all right. I'm trying to figure out the best.
But more cost efficient.
Okay.
Yeah,
More
and
cost
a lot
efficient.
younger.
Yeah, and a lot younger.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to go to, younger. Because Sheriff might have just reached a point, Coach, where his body was starting to break down a little bit.
Yeah.
He played in a lot of games, but he wasn't the guy that you wanted him to be. That physical run blocking right guard, that mauling type
And
of
that's
guard.
what he was early on in his career.
Yeah.
Sheriff was with the Redskins. He was a big mauling, getting after type of guy.
Yeah, and again, I'm not sure that you can say that they got that much better. I mean, until we see what happens on the field. I think, though, again, I'm looking at it like a 2-year deal. You develop these guys; they're on the come. You give them an opportunity to get better,
right?
And there's no guarantee they won't take an offensive lineman with the first pick.
100%.
You know, so to me, it's there's a lot of things. Hey, we don't know. Harrison might move over to left tackle. We don't know what's going to happen with this group. That's something that we're going to have to look at and see.
Right. And so when James Gladstone, his approach, he learned under the Les Snead leadership out in L.A., and he was one of the guys that was in charge of the draft. That's kind of where, at the very least, he started to make his hay and kind of own his distinction as far as, hey, you need to pay attention to this guy in our front office. And so that's kind of his area. And so we'll find out if he can create and find some opportunities in the draft, trade, maneuver, do whatever to basically secure some more talent for this football team. But then the other side is, does he have an eye for these free agents? Can he find deals? Can he find rising players? One of our texters said Diami did not play in the slot, that he was more in
he's an outside guy.
Yeah, in that outside position. Right. And I appreciate that because, honestly, I'm trying to remember the plays that he made. I started seeing him flash late in the year, and I started seeing that little burst and potential coming out of him.
Right.
And I'll be honest with both of you, and you guys will totally appreciate this. The only reason I paid attention to Diami Brown is because I was playing my touchdown prop game with Hard Rock Bet. That's the only reason. And all of a sudden, I saw some pretty good odds to get Diami Brown in the end zone, and I started picking up on him late in the year, or Diami over 46.5 receiving yards, whatever it might have been, and then it would grow a little bit. And so people were starting to realize that this guy was at least getting off and getting open. And so if he is one of those guys that can step in and be and represent that new guy that can come in and become a star.
I think the fans have to understand that everybody wants the name. The names are not getting into free agency anymore.
Right.
There's not very many Saquon Barkleys running around out there, right?
Yeah.
So free agency has become a stopgap situation unless you are a contender where you can step out and get a top-line guy that makes the difference between you winning 11 games and 14 games. And the other part of that is, in free agency, is there are some guys like the Minnesota Vikings, for example, that have hit on a bunch of the same guys we're talking about here.
Right.
And they all of a sudden, well, they brought in this guy, that guy, this guy. Well, they got lucky. They hit on some of those guys. And we have to look at it like, hey, we got to trust these guys. We don't know what this is until we see them on the field.
Yeah, because it's funny. We've had guys that have come in here that have been paid quite a bit of money, and some of them have panned out, and some of them haven't. Shaq Griffin comes to mind. Yep. Shaq Griffin was miscast. He was brought in as a high-priced free agent. They spent a lot of money on him, and you can go back and look at the cornerbacks that were available that year, and you could say, wait a minute, should you have gone more for a man guy versus a zone guy, all this kind of stuff? This much we know. Shaq did not work out in the long run. There were other guys that they could have signed, and they didn't. And then you also realize that the coaching staff wasn't as good as they should have been either. And so it's just a constant fight.
We knew Shaq was a zone guy when we tried to play man with him.
Yeah, it was
and
nuts.
we overpriced him. If you know you're gonna be playing more man, why would you play a guy who came from a team that ran a lot of zone?
Right.
So that just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Coach, you were ranting and raving about that one because honestly, you can't go and sign a high-priced free agent and not have him match your scheme.
Right.
And I can't imagine for the life of me how a GM doesn't work in concert with whoever his coaching staff is. Now, they may not be there forever, but at the very least, sign the guy that matches what you're trying to do.
Exactly, and that's what you do. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Lewis pick, when Mike gets on and talks about him, that's the kind of guy that fits exactly what they want to do because you look at a guy like Jerry and Jones.
Right.
I watched a lot of Green Bay film, okay? Jerry and Jones fits that outside. He's a guy, they don't even pedal anymore. They kind of soft bail out of there. The guy's got to have some eyes. He's got to be physical. He's got to play the run. That's why they've brought Lewis in, because they feel like they've got somebody in there that can do what they want to do at the corner position. And they didn't want to go out and spend a ton of money on a corner. So it all comes down to how you space your money, the safety position. I guarantee you that Gladstone doesn't value the safety position like we're looking at it.
Right.
You're not going to hire a Holland because it's too much money.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that got signed earlier today.
Yeah,
Javon Holland, a high-price safety.
Where'd he go?
I'm trying to think, actually, now.
He go to the Giants?
No.
Anyway,
yeah,
that's immaterial.
I can picture Adam Schefter. Like, Adam is so good at this.
Yeah.
He waits for Mike Greenberg to introduce him, and then he goes into a full panic. And he's like, hang on, wait a second, hang on. And Greeny goes, oh, Schefter's looking at his phone. Something's happening. He goes, I got it. Javon Holland just signed. And so I'm watching all that. I completely forgot what team he went to. Yeah, Giants. Thank you, JJ.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, they only have so much money to sprinkle around. That's really it.
Yeah.
They can't go for the high price figures because if you go back, and I love what Daniel Griffiths put out there earlier, the amount of money that this team has spent, continually spent in free agency, has got to stop. They can't do it. And the teams that spend all the money, generally speaking, don't necessarily hit home runs with the free agent signings that they've had. They don't.
Yeah.
Yep. You've heard of the Herschel Walker trade, right, with the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Well, they brought in 5 guys from Minnesota. Only 2 of them made the team. One of them for just 1 year. Bring in a bunch of guys. You're going to hit on some guys. Some guys you're probably not going to hit on.
And they still got draft picks out
now
of
they
that.
got draft picks.
Big
Plus,
time.
yeah, maybe that was a heist.
Yeah.
But I'm talking in general. When you bring in a bunch of guys, that's why the more draft picks you have, the better opportunity you have to hit on guys, because you're not going to hit on all 13 of them or whatever we've got coming in.
Here's one off the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. Jack should have built the O-line with bigger name guys. Did what Chicago did over the crap they just did. Then draft 10 of 13 players. So we'll get back into that subject because we don't necessarily know if the Bears throwing money at these guys, if it will actually pan out. But it's a pleasure to say hello to one of Coach's guys, Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator last year for the Dallas Cowboys, 8 years the head coach up in Minnesota. And Coach, we first say thank you and welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, we appreciate it. I think more than anything else, Jaguar fans are salivating over the idea of a little more intel. So if we could just start with Jordan Lewis, who I think, based on what we've seen from the Dallas community, they love what this guy represented on the football field.
Yeah, we call him J. Lou. I used to call him Pitbull because he's gonna sit in there and fight all day long. He's a tough competitor. He's not real big physically, size-wise, but he thinks he's bigger than anybody. And I'd tell him, trying to get him out of the run fit, and he'd tell me, "No, I want to be in there with the big guys." So he's a good ball skills. He's got good range, very smart, and very tough. And he typically will not miss games.
Mrs. Camps, has he diminished at all in skill over? Well, of course, you were there for 1 year, but do you still feel he's on the rise?
Yeah, Camps. I think first of all, it's good to talk to you again. But I think he loves to compete, and he's a savvy veteran that he's going to put his arm on, going to take his arm and hook the waist to the slot receiver sometimes if he has to. He thinks he's way bigger and way faster than he is. So I think you're going to get a really good player. I know Dallas really wanted to keep him. He can do a lot of things for you. He went out, we had a bunch of corners for last year. He went out and played on the outside some, but he's probably a better inside player.
Now, Coach, does he have the skill set and whereabouts to where he could play outside as well?
Well, he has the smarts. He's probably not a true outside guy, but if you need him out there in a pinch, and he's not afraid of anybody. He wants to cover everybody out there. If you tell him, hey, this is the best guy, he says, let me have him. So, I have a lot of respect for him.
We're talking with Mike Zimmer. He was the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys last year, 8 years the head coach in Minnesota, so we're definitely going to get to a couple of other guys. But, based on what Leon just asked, I think more than anything else, and you understand this, Coach, a heck of a lot, is the importance of that nickel guy to take on what is becoming a really dynamic position out of the slot with a lot of these, groups of wide receivers. So how important can he be to this defense?
I think he can be really important. We played – in the beginning of the year, we played a lot more base defense with some of the 21 personnel and 12, and then halfway through the year, we really started getting into the nickel subgroups, and he loved it. I mean, he loved being in there with big guys. He loved doing a good job in the running game, taking on blockers. He's really tough. He made an unbelievable interception against Tampa Bay, I believe it was, where him and I can't remember who the receiver was, but they went up in the end zone and he took it away from the guy. So, you can say this guy's a true competitor, and he's a great person in the locker room. He's not afraid to say what he thinks, and I think he's going to be a great addition for your team.
Zimmer, there's another guy that I wanted to ask you about is the tight end. I think he was there with you when you were at Minnesota. Munt, what's your thoughts about him?
No, he wasn't there. I don't.
Oh, okay. I thought
I am getting old, but I don't think I forget that easy.
And I think that's what it boils down to is I think Jaguar fans right now, Coach, are looking for guys that can ascend and be starters wherever they're coming from.
Yeah, and they've had I know they struggled a little bit this last year, but they had a good thing going down there, and I'm sure they'll get back going to it again.
Hey, Coach, tell me a little bit about Ndoga. What kind of kid is he?
Yeah, he wasn't with us either, but so I can't give you all the good scoop.
I thought he was with Dallas.
What's his name?
Chuma
Ndoga.
No, he wasn't with. You're talking about
offensive guy, offensive tackle.
Oh, Chuma.
Yeah,
Chuma.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey,
you're thinking defense, brother.
I spent a lot of time with the defensive guys. Yeah. No, they really liked him. He's a big physical guy. He was hurt at the beginning of the season, and then came back and did well. So I know that all the offensive guys really liked him and thought that he was a good player, and they wish they would have had him earlier.
Yeah, he's like 6'3", 310, comes out of Southern Cal, a guy that hopefully they're hoping, Coach, will be able to contribute and compete for the offensive line position. So as we visit with you a couple more minutes, Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator last year for the Cowboys, 8 years the head coach for the Minnesota Vikings. The unbelievable collection of coaches here, Mike, they're very young. And we're talking about a brand new general manager, a brand new head coach, OC, DC, all in their first position at that level. How hard or how much work do they have ahead of them to make this work?
Well, I've always said this, and Camps will probably agree with me. There's no guarantee on the head coach as far as, it's really on-the-job training. You learn a lot of different things that you weren't doing in your previous job. I will say this, Liam Cohn, when we played against him in Tampa, and you go through all the tapes and you think, man, this guy can really call a game. So, that part of it, I think he'll end up doing a good job. As far as the rest of the staff and everything, they're going to have to get with it quick. They got a lot of young guys, but that's kind of what the league is going to now.
Yeah, and I kind of look at it as when we came into the league, Mike, back in the day, it was the same thing. We were a really young group on the coaching staff, and a lot of it was, I know you and a bunch of the guys were really good teachers, and we're hoping that that's the case. Let me ask you one more question on Lewis. Can he play man?
Yeah, he loves to play man-to-man. He's a good zone player, but he loves to play man-to-man. I think, honestly, Dave, I think he can do really anything he wants. He's got the heart of a lion, and he's a good, smart, tough football player that the fans are really going to love him, honestly.
All right, Leon, let's finish with Camps on Zim and Zim on Camps. So you can go with me on this one, because these are two good old school coaches right here. Mm-hmm. So Zim, as I'm calling you right now, because I heard Coach say it, give us a quick story on Camps, and then Camps, you got to give us a quick story on Zim.
Man, there's so many of them. Should I tell them about the one? Should I tell them about the time when you were singing when we were really young, when you're doing a singing? What was it? In one of the establishments down there, and he came. They announced him. This was in Utah. He announced him, and he came in, and we all got up and left. I'll tell you this: I learned so much football from Dave Campo, and I've sat in his meetings for a couple of years anyway, and. He was a tremendous teacher. He was unbelievable on the board. I've never seen anybody as good as him on the board, and he had a great relationship with the players as well.
Now, my story on Zim is the reason I liked him the most was because he was a pain in the neck in every meeting, and yet I knew that whatever we finished with, that's what was going to go on the field.
Yeah.
And there's no question. And we were very fortunate to get him. Coach Switzer, giving him the opportunity to come to Dallas was a big deal. And obviously his career took off. And there's no question about it.
Wait a minute. Both of y'all were on the staff when y'all beat us in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, heck
yeah.
Of course.
That was hey, listen, I got to finish with that.
Yeah.
That's the best one. That's the best one, because there's about a minute and something left in the game, and I'm in the press box, and Zim's on the field. And I wanted to get in on the celebration because the game was over.
Yeah.
Well, this is why Zim is who he is. The game was not over until it went 0-0.
Yeah.
And he cussed me out and said, "You better stay in the press box. There's still a game going on." So I missed all the excitement, but we won. That's the key.
That's awesome.
I want to call you some such and suches right now. But
there were some good times. There were some good times for sure.
Well, hopefully we can visit again, because the one thing that's kind of eating at me, Coach Camp has brought this up to me before, is instruction and the time that you get with the player in today's NFL. So maybe we can hopefully catch up with you a little bit later on, and we'll do that again. But listen, we really appreciate, I know Jaguar fans appreciate you giving them a little bit of an idea of what these guys bring to the table as free agents.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks a lot for coming on, Zim. I appreciate it, and best of luck. What's next?
I don't know.
Anything?
I don't know. You know, there's a coach out in Colorado that's been talking to me, and I'm going to go out there and sit down with him for a couple of days and see what he's wanting me to do.
That would be
That's great. Well, listen, you tell that boy that I've been trying to get a hold of him for 3 years to get him on this radio station, and he will not get back to me. Tell him I'm still his buddy. I love him.
He's still on his own schedule. You know that, right? Whatever that schedule is, he's going to stay with it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Zim. Best of luck.
Okay, Kent. Good talking. Bye-bye.
That's awesome. Thank you. And, yeah, he's mentioning Dion. He might go out there, and that would be pretty good opportunity for these players to learn from another guy like that, Leon, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Dion kind of pays a little bit of a tribute back to his old coaches by bringing him back there.
Well, for sure. I mean, and I've said this many times before, he and Zimmer are tight.
Yeah.
You know, and I was a coordinator when Dion was there. So Zim is much tighter with him. You know, the position coach.
Sure.
That's their unit. They're in there, you know, and I think Mike would do a great job with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good story from the Super Bowl. I don't know if Leon loved it, but it was still a good story. All right, we head to the 3 o'clock hour, and we'll keep it going on this. What did you guys think of that? Because honestly, he said that Jordan Lewis is now the highest paid nickel. He's 29, and I know there's some fans that have been hitting us with text or X or whatever, and they're not crazy about the bulk of what was done, but that does sound like a guy that can step in and contribute.
Plus, you realize this isn't like, you know, Zim is done there.
Yeah.
So he's telling it like it really is.
Right.
There's no, you know, he's not a guy that's there and he's talking about his player and bringing, you know, propping him up.
Sure, yeah.
That's how he really feels about the guy.
So let's get into that coming up at the 3 o'clock hour. It's XL Primetime, Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. We say thanks to both of them. Don't forget BeaverChevrolet.com, BeaverToyotaSt.Augustine.com. Great people. They are there to wow you, and you will get great deals. That's for sure. Come on by. We're at TPC Sawgrass. This is the first of many days that we will be enjoying the Players' Championship.
This is your captain speaking. Please return to your seats. We will be experiencing turbulence.
1010XL. Taking turbulence out of the air.
Hey, this is Coach Jason Gibson of your Jacksonville Sharks. I know the importance of a strong game plan, and that's exactly what I've got with Clay Solar Installation Partners. They did the install of the solar panels at my house, and I couldn't be happier. Lower energy bills, clean power, and a winning team that made the whole process easy. If you're looking to save money and go solar, trust the pros at Clay Solar. Call Karen at Clay Solar today and tell them that Coach Gibson sent you.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. New year, new you. Yeah, it's March, but now is not the time to give up. We all set goals with the new year, and more times than not, it revolves around the way we look. So if you're ready to get serious about being the best you, it's time to get serious about Awaken 180 weight loss. It's time to get serious about losing weight the right way and getting into the best shape of your life safely. No guesswork, no trial and error, no medication side effects. I'm proof I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 100, and you can lose whatever you want. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. Reach your goals with Awaken 180 weight loss and become a new you. Trust me, it was simple, a word you never hear used with weight loss programs unless you're referring to Awaken 180. Choose the simple, clear path to success with the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round 1 of draft night. Through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes, one lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsored and administrator, Everbank N.A.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors to get the job done right. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit Coastal Equipment for a demo today.
Greater power for the great outdoors. Coastal Equipment.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell and Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell and Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
With so many competitive pest services in town, you might wonder why Kingfish Pest Control's business is booming while similar companies seem to be struggling. It all comes down to service, affordability, and effectiveness. Kingfish Pest Control is a local family-owned company who delivers on their promises to effectively control pests like ants, spiders, roaches, termites, mosquitoes, and more. Your home is their priority, so call today and discover why your neighbors and your buddy Hayes Carlion trust Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Family owned and managed for 20 plus years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is JJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. It's now day 2 of free agency, and while the Jags have signed players at many positions on both sides of the ball, 2 of the biggest signings were made to improve the interior offensive line, a place where the team really struggled last year. With the retirement of center Mitch Morse, the Jaguars are bringing in former Buccaneers center Robert Hainsey, obviously coached by Liam Cohen last year. Hainsey comes to town on a 3-year, $21 million deal with $13 million guaranteed. Although Hainsey was replaced by Graham Barton last season, gives Coach Cohen some familiarity at the center position, one of the most important on the field for communicating what the defense is showing with the quarterback. The Jaguars also brought in former Ravens guard Patrick McCarry on a 3-year, $37.5 million deal to take over for Brandon Sheriff. It's 72 degrees at 3:04. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I used to call him Pitbull because he's gonna sit in there and fight all day long. He's a tough competitor. He's not real big physically, size-wise, but he thinks he's bigger than anybody. And I tell him, trying to get him out of the run fit, and he'd tell me, "No, I want to be in there with the big guys." So he's a good good ball skills. He's got good range, very smart, and very tough. And he typically will not miss games.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
That was pretty good stuff from Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator for Jordan Lewis and the Dallas Cowboys a season ago, and he joined us courtesy of Coach Campo, one of his old coaching mates. But what he said, he called him deadbolt. And when you're talking about one of the guys that's going to be part of this Jaguar defense, at least that's what you're assuming, that was pretty good to hear.
Listen, just for you fans out there, there's no more of a dog than Mike Zimmer.
Yeah.
If he says a guy's tough and he's a physical guy, there's no question. There's no question that that's who the guy is. And I'm excited to have him here. I think that's the type of guy that they're looking for.
Right.
And you know, I talked to the personnel people there in Dallas as well. And one of the things they said was, and he mentioned it quickly, he's a leader. He's a guy in the locker room that is not afraid to say the way it should be and the way it is. And I think that's important with this team. I don't think we have enough of those kind of guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's fearless. And I always say that you bring in certain guys like dogs, and it becomes infectious because his temperament in practice, the way he approaches the game, is going to affect the guys that are around him. I mean, if he's fearless, he's a dog, he gets after it. That's going to affect Tyson. That's going to affect the safeties, all that kind of stuff. So you want guys like that in your locker room, in the back end. You want guys who are tough, physical, will get their hands dirty, get in your face, talk the talk, walk the walk. That's my impression of what I'm getting from this kid. I'm getting from him that he loves the game of football. He comes to work every day, and on Sundays he shines and gets it done.
And I do like the idea that you're looking at a guy that says, let's make sure we get this right. We're all accountable here. You can grade me on my work. I'm going to grade you on your work, that type of thing, if that's the type of guy he is. Now, let's just match that up with a couple of 1010XL Primetime fans that just walked by and immediately gestured to Leon. Boom. Give him the hands. Show him the hands. And so they were all fired up as they walked through here. But that's what you want. You want that persona, that guy in the locker room that's going to demand the best. And that's what you did.
Yeah. And listen, I wasn't a big talker. I let my play on the field speak volumes. And the guys in the locker room appreciated that. And they knew that when I was in practice, I was going to be no nonsense. It wasn't going to be no brother-in-law. And I'm going to play at the tempo, at the speed that I'm going to play in the game. If you don't like it, don't get in front of me.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. And those are the type of guys that you want. You want in your locker room.
I was glad to hear also that the one thing I haven't watched him enough to really say, this guy's this or that. But the one thing I was interested in was could he play man-to-man? Because now that opens up a whole new deal. If the guy's a big physical guy that can support the run and can play man-to-man, that's who you want at nickel for sure.
Right.
And so, it looks to me like we got a good one there.
Yeah, and I don't know. Well, I think I got more of a kick out of let's make this the 10-10 take, JJ, if you don't mind, because I did get a kick out of it.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since 68.
So Sonny's, they know what their recipes are. They've been doing it for a long time, since 68, as they said. You can still get that all-you-can-eat ribs for less than $20. So visit them all over the First Coast. But they do what they do, and they know what they're doing. And I love that Mike Zimmer said, Chuma Doga? Who are you talking about? Well, that was the dude on the offensive side of the ball. He's like, I got no idea who he is. I'm just thinking I'm working on my defensive guys. I'm trying to block whoever that guy is on the other side of the ball. So I got a big kick out of that because, honestly, the essence of what I would think, and you guys tell me whether this is crazy or not, but Dave, did you drill down on the guys on your side of the ball where you may not have recognized somebody else? And Leon, the same thing? Because I just absolutely love Zim go, I'm sorry, I don't recognize
until
that
I
name.
said he's an offense. Oh, Chuma, I know who that is. Yeah, he knew it. Only that they liked him.
Right. What do you think?
Now you get dialed in. Now, most of the coaches that I've ever played for, they don't know who on the offensive side of the ball half the time. They dialed into their guys, their names, who they're working with, that kind of stuff. Same way offensive coaches. Offensive coaches the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no different.
Yeah, and
so I wasn't surprised he didn't recognize. I was kind of wrong in probably asking him that question because I know he probably had no idea.
Well, how about me? I asked him about Munt, and he wasn't even he wasn't there with him, unless he was there with him, and he just didn't put it together.
But the other part of it is it's a little worrisome if it's the other way.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know him because he didn't make an impact.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you gotta wonder about that. But he played at Southern Cal. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Jets. He's been on a couple of teams, New York and now the Dallas Cowboys. He was with the Jets for 4 seasons, with the Cowboys for a couple seasons. And so we'll find out whether or not this guy is going to be able to come in here and compete.
I'll find out a little bit more about him, too.
Yeah.
Along the way here.
Yeah, and I feel like if they're looking at a guy like this, they're trying to get physical. They're trying to find guys that can come in and compete for not just the guard position they said goodbye to with Brandon Sheriff, but also said goodbye to Mitch Morse at center, and that other left guard is up for grabs. It's got to be up for grabs.
Yes.
And this is just the beginning because you got to look at what they're going to do in the draft as well.
Yeah, I mean, the left guard is up for grabs. I mean, you signed Ezra Cleveland to a contract extension last year, but if you get Will Campbell at the 5th pick overall, you're moving him inside the left guard because you don't
further
draft,
here and now.
Yeah, you're moving him to left guard. You don't draft the guy that high and have him sit behind anybody. So I mean, then Ezra becomes expendable, in my opinion. Yeah,
and we don't know exactly what's going to happen with either of the tackle positions. If we're being honest,
no. Like I said, they may move Harrison over to the left side.
Yeah.
we don't know what their thinking is, but you're hopeful that they have a plan, and that's the direction that they're going.
Or if you go McMillan at 5, and then you move up, and late in the 1st round and go get Zabel.
Yeah,
that's a 1-2 punch right there.
Then you've established your interior offensive line.
You get a big size guy that can go deep, that can match Brian Thomas on one side of the field, the other. Secondaries have to account for both of them. Who knows exactly what Brenton Strange becomes, but we can name De'Ami Brown, and we could basically name 4 guys if they were to do that. And then you come back and you say, you know what, we got draft capital. Let's turn whatever we have numbers wise into a prized pick, and let's help our offensive line.
Or we can go Mason Graham, and then move up and get Zabel.
Yeah.
Now the interior defensive line, because we've done nothing. I mean, I refuse to believe that we're going to stick with just the defensive front we have right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we need some fresh air.
Yeah, it's so funny because you start to look around, and I'm looking at some of the names, and nothing is really jumping out at you that basically says, you know what, they improved themselves mightily. Now there are some that are coming out and just basically trying to do the analysis, and they're saying, hey, the Jaguars were expected to be kind of quiet when it came to what was going to go on in free agency, and they were quiet in the sense that they didn't spend a ton of money on any one individual. That part of it I liked. They did make somebody the highest paid at a position, which was a little bit of a surprise.
Well, we knew going into this new staff that we knew that the GM built his rosters based on the draft. I mean, it's no different than when you go into college and your base is recruiting.
Right.
The portal is when you miss on guys, all right? It's the same thing with free agent. Your base should be the draft, building, developing your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round guys and the starters. And if you miss on a guy or 2, then you go on the free agent and say, okay, we got to replace this guy.
Right.
But you got to build your brand on the draft initially. And this is what the Jaguars haven't done. Over the last decade and a half, we've missed on draft picks.
Yep.
No. Yeah, there's really no other way to say it. It's been a terrible bunch when it comes to getting the job done, and developing guys. And you can point to a handful of guys that do represent potential. But if you go back and you look at the first 4 rounds of the last, well, you could actually go back 4 drafts. And there's just not enough guys of quality that you would point to. And heck, they haven't necessarily found starters outside of the first 4 rounds. There were guys in years gone by that would pop up, a Bobby McCray, a James Robinson, an undrafted guy, somebody like that.
I'm not even talking about your misses on your first round. That's bad enough.
Yeah.
But everybody, coach could tell you this, the meat and potatoes of your team is the second, third, and fourth round picks.
Right, correct.
That's the meat and potato of your teams. The first round guys get all the attention, all the fanfare, all the love and lust. By the way, I was one. But I understood that the meat and potatoes of the team was the second, third, and fourth round picks. How do you hit on those guys? Do you develop those guys? Or those guys started?
And really, that's what L.A. has done. L.A. has hit the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
With Gladstone. They've hit guys in the second, third, fourth round because they gave away all their first-round picks.
It's the truth. And they definitely, the Kyron Williams, Kobe Turners, the Byron Youngs, you can go down the line with the guys that they got. And, heck, even Braden Fisk this past year.
Puka.
Yeah, and Puka Nacua is the poster boy.
What was it, sixth-round pick?
Yeah, he's 150th overall, something like that, maybe 155, something like that. Heck, he might even be further down the line than that. It's just nuts. All right, let's say hello to a past champion here. We've been talking a lot of ball. Let's talk the players. Let's talk what this condition or what this golf course condition-wise looks like to a guy who has won on this stadium course. We'll do that coming up with Craig Perks, the 2002 champion, on XL Primetime.
This is your captain speaking. Please return to your seats. We will be experiencing turbulence.
1010XL. Taking turbulence out of the air.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interest first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's exclusive 31-day spring event. Experience superior craftsmanship and timeless design with buy one, get one 40% off custom replacement windows and patio doors. Enjoy the ease of zero down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires March 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Put your best foot forward and score 60 minutes of soccer insight on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley for Soccer Talk.
Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Plumbing problem? AC not blowing cool? Septic tank backing up? No need to call 3 different companies. Just call Rooter. At Rooter, we do it all. Plumbing, septic, and air conditioning with expert technicians in each department. One company, one call, one easy bill. No hassle, no runaround, just fast professional service from highly skilled techs who know their stuff. Need help? Call 904-862-6769 today and let Rooter handle it all. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Electrical problems? Call American Electrical Contracting. 737-7770. Small jobs or large, they do them all. Work with a locally owned and operated company that will wire it right at a fair price. It's not just a slogan, it's the way they do business.
Hey, this is Darren with One Call Lawn and Pest Control. Since 2011, we've taken great pride in being Northeast Florida's premier lawn, termite, and pest control company. Our technicians receive thorough training year-round, focusing on exceptional customer service with meticulous attention to detail. One Call serves the greater Jacksonville area, including St. Augustine, Orange Park, and Fernandina. We're eager for the opportunity to earn your business and welcome you to the One Call family. Call or text us for a free quote, 413-8377.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Tell you what's cool, this weather. It is beautiful. We had rain come in on Sunday and Monday, and then it's just the sky said, you know what, it's time to take over. It is Players Week, and we are out here in the Palm Valley Village right behind 9 Green. We'll be all over the place throughout the course of the week, but 1010XL 92.5 FM, happy to serve as one of your conduits to what's going on here. Joe C., along with Leon Searcy, Dave Campo, as we talk about this tournament, none better than one of the great dudes in the golf world, Craig Perks. He was the 2002 Players Champion. I'm not going to age him and tell him that's about a quarter of a century ago, nothing like that. But you'll see him on PGA Tour Live and many other broadcasts. Perksy, welcome in. How are you?
Joe, I'm good. I was out there this morning, and it was a bit bloody cold, so I'm pretty sure that you're thankful to have the sun streaming down on your face. But it is a glorious Tuesday for sure, Players Week.
Yeah, and it does look pretty good weather-wise, and hopefully we will have a golf course that will be, the classic line is firm and fast. So let's at least start there, because I do think, Craig, if you go from last week, it was tough at Bay Hill, and then you don't necessarily want to see a 20-under score win here like we did last year. How do you think this course will play?
Yeah, I was watching a lot of the players out there this morning, Joe, and it's soft. It's still very soft, understandably so with all the rain that fell throughout Monday. Yeah, listen, I go back to last year, and I was saddened to a point, actually, not by Scotty Scheffler's performance. It was incredible, certainly to be the first guy to ever win this great championship back-to-back, but 20 under par, second lowest score since Norman back in 1994, and pretty much from the outset, it was, we were sighing in a way. The ball was landing, and the greens were very receptive, the fairways were soft, the rough was playable. I don't want to be that person, but I think the condition is just too perfect right now. I love the old rugged and unkempt look where it's dormant Bermuda, but I completely understand why we want to see these hues of green that are so startling, to be honest with you. And the guys want a seemingly are very accepting of golf courses that are in immaculate condition, and I think as it is the Players' Championship, I think they cater to the players here this week.
Craig, this is Dave Campo. I remember your win here very well. I was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys at that time, and I was looking to buy a house here at Sawgrass. And I play a little golf. And the worst thing I do on the course is putt. Can you please tell me how you won this championship with 2 chips and 1 putt?
Well, Coach, I actually might have been your neighbor because after we won, we were thinking of moving down here as well. And I would have certainly given you some putting lessons for sure. I think more than anything, these greens can get very quick, and especially with them being Tip Eagle Bermuda, they have some overspeed, and so you have to play the grain. I think when Dave, when you walk on the greens, if you can see it looks pretty shiny, then you know it's going to be quick. And then if it looks quite a heavy shade of green, then you know it's going to be a little slow. I think that to be a better putter, well, I think we all aspire to do that. Speed needs to be better, and I think grain can influence putts a lot, especially out at Sawgrass when the greens are overseeded.
Now, Craig, I played at the University of Miami where I won 3 national championships. Now, that was a team sport.
Yeah,
a hell of an accomplishment. But you won a championship here at one of the best golf tournaments in the world. How was that feeling?
Well, Leon, I think it is an individual sport, but it's a team effort. You know, I had a lot of people in my camp that were very supportive. Maybe my wife at the top, she was with me that week. A caddy comes along. So you rely on those people a lot. As a professional golfer, you get all the accolades and all the trophies, but I think you still have to be humble enough to rely on your teammates, as you did back at Miami and obviously with the Jags. But I think if we forget about that, then I don't believe we get in trouble. If we believe that we're the only one that is accomplishing this, then I think we disrespect those who have helped us. And I had so many people help me along the way. And even when I was getting started, I needed financial support just to start playing the mini tours. Without those guys, I certainly wouldn't be talking with you guys today. So I rely on my teammates as you did, and I'm certainly thankful for them, probably first and foremost my wife, who's sitting right by me to this day.
Yeah, it really is something, and people truly do not understand how many resources you may rely on or look to just to keep you going, and it really is something. We're talking with Craig Perks, 2002 Players Champion, and what Coach described, honestly, it's like we've never seen. Eagle at 16, chipping from off the green, birdie at 17, a chip-in par at the last out of that thick rough under the most challenging of circumstances. So who has the medal this year, Craig, in your mind, to take down a Scotty or whomever else may be at the top? And maybe just kind of a dark horse or two that you're thinking of.
Yeah, I am not going to step 1 foot past Scotty Scheffler winning it for the 3rd time. Talk about medal and makeup. He loves the grind. He loves to compete. He's certainly shown some inconsistencies after the time off with the surgery. He has just the right attitude, the commitment, everything along those lines. But there are certainly players that have played extremely well. I actually, we did an on-the-range show last week for Bay Hill, Joe, and we sat there on a Wednesday, and I loved the way that Russell Henley was going about his business. He's such a consistently strong performer, and I'm not just saying that because he won at Bay Hill last week, but I go back to the Ryder Cup, and that cauldron and that emotion when you actually are relying on your teammates. He stood taller, actually. He played a couple of matches with Scheffler as a teammate, and he carried that. And then he just continued to play well, and you look throughout the bag. There's so much randomness at this course, Joe. You know, you think Tigers won here, and Duvall and Davis Love and Adam Scott and all Rory, right? And then you go Fred Funk and Calvin Pete and Tim Clark and Stephen Ames and all. So they're so random. It really does. It's so democratic in a nature that doesn't favor anyone. But I think if you look at the world rankings, you obviously, apart from my surprise victory, basically everyone that has won this event, now we're going on 50-plus years, those guys are all in the top 20 in the world, top 25 in the world. So I think if you go down those that are playing well, it would even be Keegan Bradley, who shot 64 last week, and carry that momentum in here and really has the experience at this place. You know, he's going to have his 14th start, someone like that. And as I mentioned, Russell Henley, I don't think Rory talked about getting handcuffed here. As far as he hits it, you really can't hit drivers in a lot of spots. But I go back to Scotty because, you know, he's such a tactician, and he plays. You can be pretty aggressive off the tees. I think you play towards some trouble, but then what Scotty's done the last couple of years, and look at his green and regulation numbers, he's a little bit more conservative, and then he has an incredibly good short game, sort of wizardry around the green. So I think that's the makeup. But I think this year, Joe, I think maybe there's a few more in the pot. There might be 10 or 12, but Justin Thomas obviously playing extremely well. You could sort of continue on down that list, but it's exciting. You know, I think the scope and the magnitude and really the significance of this event. There's 144 guys that would just absolutely love to walk away as the Players' Champion.
Yeah, when we say the strongest field in golf, we ain't making that up, because that is 100% what it is. And it's crazy because you're right. There have been decorated winners here. Jason Day's one of them, and he's played well. He might be one to watch. Oberg just moved here, and you know how good he is, and that cat can get it done. But the thing I want to leave you with, or at least get you to leave us with, is it frustrating a little bit, Perksy, that the big guys can't pull out the big stick more often here? Is that one thing that they might, when they're in the locker room, complain about just a bit?
No, they probably do, because it's a disadvantage for them, and they have such an advantage 75 or 80% of the year. You know, go to a golf course last week. That was over 7,400 yards. That is a long, arduous journey. And listen, Russell Henley's not a long player. I like it. I like this place. I talked about the democratic nature of it. You know, it makes you hunt angles. Visually, it can make you very uncomfortable. But it's those that it sort of tempts you, and if you're willing to take on a little bit of the risk, but then you've got to have patience, and I think, and sort of this deep imagination. So no, Joe, potentially they've added some length at some of these holes. Remember, they've gone back at 2 and they've gone back at 11, some of these par 5s. And I absolutely love what they did, sort of recalibrating the bent-over limb on the tree at the 6th tee. Absolutely love that. So they've added a little bit more length. It's over 7,300 yards. If it remains soft, which the fairways were very soft this morning, those guys may be able to hit drivers a little bit more. But it's not a driving golf course. It's a second shot golf course, and then the talent and the skill around the greens and the grind, and just go out and compete hard and embrace what Pete Dye has built for you.
Craig, I've got one last question for you, which our listeners, I think, would really like to hear. I watched Tiger Woods at one of the tournaments. I can't remember the year, but I watched him on the putting green putt one-handed for an hour prior to the getting going. How much did you practice during the time you were a professional golfer?
Well, Dave, for me, I did the majority of my work at home, but then I over-practiced at home. I sort of lost the plot a little bit with being mentally and physically fresh when I teed off Thursday morning. I think when you watch Tiger, I loved that drill. It was allowing the putter to just release sometimes because he was putting one-handed with his right hand, and sometimes with his left hand he would drag his left hand too much, and it wouldn't allow the putter to release. So, but I tell you what, Coach, I spent a lot of time in that back little sanctuary there at Sawgrass. I would spend more time after a round fiddling around and messing around and just going back there and sort of losing yourself a little bit, just because it was such an incredibly wonderful facility back there. That doesn't happen every single week. So I think that actually may have helped me a little bit the year that I won, because I was just going back there hitting these strange little shots and messing around. And Joe mentioned the couple of chip-ins coming down the stretch. I'm sure those hours and hours of practice back there during the week of the event probably helped me with my touch a little bit more. But generally, if you watch these best players in the world, most of their work is done when the cameras are off. They're at home. They're grinding when they play 2 or 3 weeks in a row. They might take a week off and then really get back into it at home without any distractions. And then when they come back in sight, they're really just into tournament mode and just being prepared to go play that Thursday morning.
Great stuff, man. We really appreciate it. The 2002 Players Champion, and definitely a guy that loves the game, embraces it, and all that's around it. You'll be able to catch him either PGA Tour Live, the brand new World Feed, talking to over 750 million households, which is just crazy. Hey, Percy, we really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the time, and enjoyed being with you guys.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you, buddy. It really is, when he says, anybody, Democratic's a great way to put it. So we got a contest tomorrow, Leon, so we'll bring that up in just a second. You're the one who brought it up. Okay, so you're the one who said we're playing with picks for lunch. You said it.
That's
okay?
right.
Don't forget.
That's true.
You said it. JJ loves it. So we'll do that tomorrow, but we're going to wrap up ours, get ready for the Francis Show coming up.
Bone-crushing blows to game-winning goals.
Yes!
Feel the energy on 1010XL.
History!
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
It's National Hooky Day, the first day of the Hoops Tournament. Watch the madness with 1010XL and enjoy madness specials all day long, starting with Helmets and Heels live from Hurricane Grill and Wings in San Marco. Then join XL Primetime at Twin Peaks on Atlantic Boulevard. The Frangie Show will be at the Dart Bar on King Street, and finish the day with Into the Night with Rick Ballou and Hacker After Dark at Mr. Chubby's Wings on the West Side. Now that's the way to celebrate hoops.
Oh my!
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. At South State, they believe strong relationships build strong businesses. That's why they take the time to understand your goals, challenges, and vision, so they can provide solutions tailored to your needs, like they've done for me for years. South State has always been there for our business and our charity. With a team you can trust and a commitment to personalized service, South State Bank is here to be more than your bank. They're your partner in business. Visit southstatebank.com. South State Bank, member FDIC.
Slacker Plumbing.
Yeah, hey, listen, I need a plumber over here right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any openings for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
I was just changing the shower head and the water line broke and it's flying everywhere.
All right, 1 week.
What if I throw you an extra $100 to come now?
What's the address?
It's 205.
Huh? I guess he changed his mind.
If you've got a leak that can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing and fix your plumbing problems fast. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Denny Thompson here. If you haven't heard, Tyson Sound and Security has a house built right inside their showroom, showcasing complete home automation and security systems. You have to see it to believe it. This setup can recognize intruders who approach your door and alerts them to leave if there's a break-in. Keep your family safe with the most state-of-the-art technology. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
Ahead, we build platforms for digital business. We help create your platform for digital business by weaving together advances in cloud infrastructure, intelligent operations, and modern applications. Digital business is comprised of 5 pillars. We call them imperatives because they're a must-have, not a nice-to-have. We enterprise cloud, integrated security, scaled DevOps, intelligent operations, and relentless automation. Need help with digital transformation? Ahead. Learn, grow, achieve.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
Need the perfect spot to unwind with friends, family, or coworkers? Dart Bar on King Street. Darts, pool, air hockey, foosball, and more. Dart Bar has the games to keep the fun rolling, with 20 taps, 200 plus cans, and plenty of non-alcoholic options. Dart Bar has something for everyone. Plus, they host community events and leagues and can accommodate everything from company happy hours to milestone birthdays. Dart Bar is your go-to place for fun, drinks, and great times, no matter the occasion.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric, and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right. Well, my takeaway is that Coach Zimmer signed off on Jordan Lewis as being a dog. See, he was a dog. He said he plays bigger than what he is. He's fearless. He's tough. He can play man. He's a leader in the locker room. Check mark, check mark, check mark. That's exactly what kind of guy we need on the back end. That's exactly the type of guy we need.
My takeaway is that this is a beautiful setting here at TPC Sawgrass, and it's fitting that the free agency is getting finished as we're down here.
Yeah.
Looking forward to these guys. I hope they have a plan, which I believe they do. And I think there's good things coming.
Yeah, I will echo what both of you guys said and what Zimmer said about Jordan Lewis. It definitely should fire you up. You may worry that he didn't know who Udoka was, but that's fine. Just leave that alone. We'll deal with that later. My takeaway is that it was just such a treat to hear from Craig Perks, but we can't talk golf without saying how much we miss Mark Carnival.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He was our dude, and I love him. I miss him, and he would have last year. He pulled up here, and he specifically brought a bright green pullover for Big Sirs.
Oh, yeah. I still
Remember
got
that?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we miss him dearly. And he left us less than a year ago, and it just so happens that his girlfriend got a tour of PGA Tour Studios not that long ago, and so still surrounded by a lot of people that love her and miss him. So we definitely miss Carney, that's for sure. But having Perksy on was a treat, and he's a guy that definitely can handicap this bad boy. So what he said, and Leon, I said this, or whatever, beginning of the week, I was ready to put money on Russell Henley for this tournament. And and son of a gun, he won last week. And so I don't know whether it's going to happen, whether he could double up. That is what Scotty Scheffler did last year. He won Bay Hill, and he came right here and won again. And so it can, but Russell's just trending in the right direction. He's and he is a bulldog. He went to Georgia, and he is a bulldog. He's one of those tough dudes. But I just don't know if he plays well here. He does. Yeah. He's made a double eagle here before, an albatross. He knows how to get around this golf course. But I just don't know if, like, that joy of winning, I think that's only like his third or fourth win, if he can keep it going this year or this week. But tomorrow, and Coach, if you want to get in on this, we'll let you. We're going to pick a player inside the top 10. And we're going to do a draft, so you're going to have to be aware of what we're doing. But player inside the top 10, and then a wild card outside the top 10.
Well, I love
playing for lunch.
Well, I love competing, especially if there's a lunch involved in it.
JJ,
so I may have to jump in there.
JJ, those are our rules, right? That's simple, right?
You want to do how many? 3?
We're doing in the top 10. 2. You want to do 2 or 3?
I'm going to do 2. We'll do 2. Okay. One in the top 10, one outside.
Okay. Yeah. You could do one in. Yeah, that's the easiest way to.
I'll do my research tonight.
Okay, good.
I got to do a little research.
I have an answer for you in the morning.
And the other one, do we have dupes? Is it a draft?
No, I think everyone should be able, or we should do like a snake draft so nobody gets the same guys, especially if we're only doing 2.
Right. Okay. We could do one top 10, then the next one, 10 to 25, and then a wild card. If you want to do that, let's just think about it until tomorrow.
Joe always kind of brings it along because he's the most knowledgeable of these guys that we're talking about.
Or he'll add a rule at the last second tomorrow.
I've lost so much money. I've lost so much money on trying to prove how much I know, because I really don't. Honestly, I believe this to be true. The hardest thing to pick and wager on is golf.
Amen.
Okay, you NASCAR. Yeah, you got a big field.
Yeah,
and you know who the bigs are, but you could take this set of drivers of the field, and you can probably count on 6-pack of drivers. The winner's going to come out of there. Horse racing, you know that you got a chance. They're all competing, but in golf they may not make the cut.
Yeah,
it ain't easy. It ain't easy. And in tennis, it's the way the seeds work. You're going to move up the bracket.
What was your bet that this chair survives me doing this broadcast?
That which one?
That this chair survived me.
That is, you did. I'm gonna tell you what. This may be the first.
Listen, let me tell you something. When I first sat in it, I wasn't sure, bro. I know I dropped
there's still 3 days left.
I know, bro.
But he's gonna have to switch chairs.
Yeah,
if we're being honest here.
Goodness.
Mark that chair as gently used.
Yeah.
Leon, I'm looking at it right now, and don't you have another hot dog tomorrow before you come over here? It doesn't look good.
And we'll go over to the next one.
Yeah.
I did talk to my man Donnie Nick from Taco Lou. He's going to make sure that he will see us tomorrow. So,
nice.
So he will try and take care of us. But look, we had a great time. I'm looking forward to seeing Jordan Davis because he's a guy that. First off, I went to the Florida First Coast of Golf luncheon earlier today, and Lee Smith, the executive director of the players, the closer, as we all like to refer to him as, he gave a little speech, and he said that Jordan Davis was out on the golf course today. He's a big golf fan. He might have even been getting fitted for clubs at that point, and so he's a golf fan. He's going to put on a great concert, and I'm looking forward to that. And then the other guy that was on the golf course today, Gronk. Gronk was, and we had some diehard XL primetimers that found him, got a picture taken with the kids. And so Gronk is roaming the grounds right now as part of
a big event.
Yeah, and he can't hide. He can't blend into a crowd. He's easily recognizable, but he is out here, and I'm sure there are plenty of other celebrities that are out here as well, along with those two. Speaking of celebrities.
Yeah.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Service by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
The embedded and shredded. Look, celebrity. It goes without saying, okay? It's part of his title. Actually, I take that back. That's Ryan the Hacker Green. What was I thinking?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, forget about that. Forget about that.
I mean, they're already lining up right now. It's great to see you guys.
Yeah.
What an amazing day.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you had your wife, Gina. You guys
got your beautiful wife here.
Beautiful wife here.
Things are rolling.
Yeah, we're having fun. So, looking forward to a fun Frangie show. And I'm really excited about this tournament.
Yeah.
I think I think the trend's going to continue. I think you're going to see, I don't know if Scheffler will three-peat.
Right.
But I think you're going to see one of those high level. This isn't, I don't think, going to be a Stephen Ames year or Tim Clark year.
We just had Craig Perks on, and he said it. And I love the way he described the way you can win here because it's a very democratic golf course.
Sure.
It will. You got to be able to do everything well and represent every part of your game. Democracy was what he's playing off of. But the point he made to us is that he was an outlier, and now these guys that are winning, they're world class. And if you go back, and I'm just trying to remember this off the cuff here, but you go Ricky, Jason Day, you go
Rory,
and then I was trying to think of why can't I think of the German Martin Keimer. Martin Keimer,
Stenson's one year.
Justin Thomas. I'm talking about from like 15 on.
Oh yeah,
like the last decade worth of winners.
Right.
Scotty back-to-back years. Justin Thomas. There's just so much class.
Cam would have been
Cam Smith
a
was
superstar
if
he just went to live.
Yeah, exactly.
And disappeared. But, I mean, he won the Players.
And if memory serves, he made 10 birdies on the final day.
Oh, that was the weather. That was the JT having the incredible Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how. I'll never know how he shot what he shot that day in those conditions. Yeah. But it feels like that's been a trend. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if it's because they now kind of get the course.
Maybe.
And when it was in March before, the Masters completely overshadowed it.
Yeah, it did.
This was a tune-up.
Yeah.
As much as no one wanted to say that. Now it does feel like it's I mean, yes, the Masters is coming.
But it's got its perfect place on the calendar.
But this is, I think, for the elite guys that are in the 20s, this has been a huge event their whole life.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I think the elite players really come here thinking this is one I've got to get on my resume at some point.
And I liked April in May with the Players. I liked
Yes.
it, but just the golf course wasn't necessarily set up the way it was. Just too hot, and so on and so forth, as far as being able to grow the grass.
Yes.
So you guys will be breaking it down.
All of that, coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll keep you posted on Jaguars free agency as well.
What was your grade after the
B? I thought it was a good, solid day at the office. 9 guys in, inexpensive contracts, filled a lot of holes.
Your comment raised the floor,
which is what Gladstone said at the Combine. That was going to be the immediate thing you would see is the floor of the roster rise.
Yeah.
And so obviously they took a big step, they think, towards that yesterday. They signed 2 tight ends, and I think both are upgrades because they're not the son of the head coach. So so I'm excited about what they've done.
Yeah, it's funny because we were trying to describe what does average look like, what does slightly above average look like, or did they become better based on there were a bunch of names that came in here that might have had a little pedigree, but they certainly didn't perform the way that you wanted them to. Or are these no names going to be better? I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see, and the draft is really going to be a fireworks show, I think. So, but yeah, good solid day at the office, and they're probably not done. They'll probably sign another guy or two. Not a huge deal, but another couple guys to get in there. So, good day so far.
All right, brother, man. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
I say we will be listening, but I'm going to be going over
I don't
there.
blame you. Have fun.
Right.
I'll be listening.
Yeah, Coach will be on his way out. Big Searcy will be listening. He'll be on his way out, but we will be back mañana.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to rock and roll. We appreciate all y'all. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, thanks to them for bringing you today's show. If you are coming out, make sure you get here on time to enjoy the military appreciation and the concert. Big Searcy, Coach, thank you very much, JJ. We always thank you for holding it down there. We are done. We will turn you over to the Frangie Show.
This time I got it right, okay?
With that, game on.
For many, it's the happiest place on earth.
At 17 in Players Championship.
Get Live Southeast